column, you mentioned that it was carefully considered by 24.com, by News24. There are people who are concerned that there has been some type of external pressure. We know that government has been brought into the equation, people saying that we, as News24, were forced to make this decision by an external party. Could you address those concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. I mean, I think this kind of decision is sort of, fuel for the conspiracy fires. I mean, it really is not that's not the case at all. I mean, I think anybody who's worked here, for longer than I have, knows that there's been an ongoing conversation of years around how comments are handled and the potential damage that they have done, and also how do you, what are the sort of approaches that one can take to ensure that, like, the really interesting, considered contribution from our users is still aired, And I mean, the conversation that has been taking place here over the last 6 or 7 months has really been framed by that. It's a conversation that that's years in the making. And I think I mean, as I said in my column announcing it, there's a number of things that have been happening around the world and in our own landscape. I mean, there's been major news organisations around the world have taken much harder lines on how they manage comments on their material. We've looked at that. It's informed our decision. We've also had this decision this year to build a national news team to be not just a publisher of news content, but a producer of it. And we've looked at how comments and the tone and tenor of comments as they are now, sort of meld with that decision. And then there are issues that we have to be cognizant of. There are legal issues, there are constitutional issues that we can't ignore. News24, Media24, has always defended freedom of speech. But in the same breath, we also are citizens of the country. We respect the Constitution, and the Constitution, does limit freedom of speech when it comes to issues of hate speech and incitement to violence and things like that. And we've got to look at that. We don't stand above the Constitution, and it's really important. I don't think South African society is served by, and certainly serves us in no good way, to be perceived in some way as providing a platform for hate speech. Although I must say that as distasteful as many comments can be, I don't think that we've ever actively published hate speech. But truth is in the eye of the beholder. And there's no way of getting around the fact that many people that were coming to our site were deeply uncomfortable about the kind of comments that they were seeing. Many people thought that they were racist and prejudiced and whatnot. And whether that's true or not, we also have to be cognizant of the impact that it has on our reputation and our credibility. And I think there's always space for for criticism and comments and views that might make other people feel uncomfortable. That's what democracy is about. But there is a line that we have to be very careful of. Where we can venture into a space that could be considered to be unconstitutional. And illegal, and that has to be something that we take seriously.
Absolutely, but again, this wasn't a decision that was forced upon News24 by government, the ruling party.
No, absolutely. I've never had a conversation with any person or entity outside of our organisation, around this issue and whatever policy decision we might take on it.